Sporlitiks, Mix and Mingle, and we've been doing it since 2011. I'm Staci Johnson. Joining me 2011. I'm Staci Johnson. Joining me tonight is Ogunna, the voice of reason, who'll become the independent thinker. Keith, the constitutional conservative. And my cousin Todd. We've got a packed show for you tonight. A lot going on in the political and the sports arena. Oh, where should we start? Right now, the U.S. Senate has voted or continues to vote on the Save America Act. The Strait of Hormuz is not, I repeat, is not open to the United States, as most NATO countries are rejecting President Trump and his request to help the United States make sure that oil tankers get through the strait. Stephen and NASCAR will see what's going on, and President Trump is thinking about taking over the country of Cuba. NCAA men's tournament, automatic big tracker, and the March Madness has begun. This week it's going to be great. Do we have our brackets ready? I don't. The partial government shutdown, it continues as it causes very, very long lines at airports across the nation during spring break, and passengers are feeling the brunt of it. The U.S. House of Representatives Oversight Chair subpoenas Attorney General Pam Bondi for a deposition in the Epstein probe. No imminent threat. U.S. Counterterrorism Center the head of the U.S. Counterterrorism Center, did I say that right? A Trump-appointed senior intel official, a protege of Tulsi Gabbard, Joe Kent, resigns over the Iran war. $5 a gallon gas and diesel fuel means what for you and this country? Is it worth it? And Iran's national security chief killed, according to Israel intelligence, and more if we can fit it in. First up, Stephen and NASCAR. Stephen, let me share the screen for you and bring NASCAR up so you can talk about what's going on with Denny Hamlin.
Finally tonight, a very emotional victory lane at Las Vegas yesterday after Chesterfield's Denny Hamlin took home his first checkered flag of the season and the first since his father passed away last December in a house fire. Hamlin's win is the 61st of his Cup Series career, which moves him into 10th place solo on the all-time list. His mother was on hand recovering from her own injuries from that fire. It's actually Hamlin's fourth win already this year if you count the 3 he has as co-owner of Tyler Reddick's car. That is the latest from the Toyota Sports Desk.
Okay.
Well, you can't count the wins of another driver and give them to him.
What are you talking about? How are they counting the wins of another driver, Stephen?
They said because he's an owner. Him and Michael Jordan own Riddick's car, and that makes him a winner of those 3 races. But he's not really a winner of a race until he wins a race, and he won a race this year. And it was the first race he won since his father died in a terrible fire at his house, and his mother, who's recovering from her injuries, came up and gave him a big hug and big kiss and everything. You know, it's what I've been saying this year is this. He should have been doing so much better in his races, but this is really hard when your parents get killed, as you can imagine. But he won his first race now, and it was very emotional for everybody. And people have been giving him so much crap because it's all racing, it's all stories and stuff like that. But people can feel him and everything he's going through right now, and that he got that win. That was great. But We have Darlington coming up next week. We have Martinsville. We have Bristol. NASCAR couldn't be any better right now for the competitiveness and everything that's happening with NASCAR. And so far, they've made a few changes and everything's great with NASCAR. So if you can take a little time, tape a race if you can't watch it live, and just check it out. This is the most competitive NASCAR has been in so many years, and I absolutely love it. So check it out.
Okay, thank you. And where will it be next week?
It's going to be Darlington.
Where is Darlington? For people like Cousin Todd, what city is Darlington? What state?
South Carolina.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Yeah, and it's a great track, and it's just so destructive to all the cars, and it's so much action, and all of these tracks that I mentioned, Martinsville and Bristol, they come afterwards. This is the great time for NASCAR. If you want to get in touch with it, if you want to become a fan, this is where it's at. And I love these new cars, and there's not been a better time for NASCAR than it is right now.
Okay, thank you. And happy St. Patrick's Day to everyone. I have Irish ancestry. Happy St. Patrick's Day to you, Stephen. Todd, do you have Irish ancestry?
I do.
I said Todd. Yeah, I know you do, Stephen.
Todd does too.
I don't know. How could we know who raped us?
Todd, that's super negative, man. Let's stay positive tonight.
Answer the question.
All right. No, we're not going to go sidetracked. I'm going to move on to March Madness.
Suit yourself.
Right. I will. I'll suit myself. Thank you. I'll suit myself.
What happened to Keith?
Usually when he it's sports, he like ducks out.
Bracket for the NCAA college basketball tournament is set. We are just days away from the start of March Madness. The Duke Blue Devils are the overall #1 seed heading into the tournament, and they're joined at the top of the bracket by the Florida Gators, who are looking to repeat as national champs, along with the Michigan Wolverines and the Arizona Wildcats. That is my wife's team. And on the women's side, the UConn Huskies edged out the UCLA Bruins as the top seed in the tournament. The South Carolina Gamecocks and the Texas Longhorns are also selected as 1 seeds. Rocco Miller is a college basketball analyst and bracketologist. I would love to know the qualifications offline. Rocco, there's a lot of talent at the top of the bracket. Who are some of the top contenders?
Yeah, well, you just mentioned 4 of them, Lindsay. Great to be on with you. With Duke, Michigan, Arizona, and Florida, I think those first 3 have stood out throughout the season as the elite 3. Florida emerged late, didn't win their conference tournament, but still by far the 4th best team in the country when all the resumes came in. And now you have to also look at the St. John's team out of the Big East, who just thumped a very good UConn team, basically ran the Big East tournament out in Madison Square Garden. And so those 5 teams, I think, are the teams to really, really watch for cutting down the nets.
Everyone loves a Cinderella story. Are there any lower seeded teams that could pull off a big upset?
Well, we'll see. I mean, I think the one to watch maybe is Troy, University out of Alabama. They made the tournament last year. They have a bunch of new guys this year, but they play fun. They play fast. They score a lot of points. They beat San Diego State this year. They lost in triple overtime to USC, and I think their draw against Nebraska is very intriguing. Another one maybe to watch for is California Baptist. They get to stay in Southern California, just 94 miles away, and take on the Kansas Jayhawks. It's a team, California Baptist, that is only in the tournament for the first time, and they have 14-2 in their last 16 games, playing in a pretty good conference, the WAC. I don't think they'll be scared of the Jayhawks. Those are the 2 I'm looking for. And if you want somebody that could go a little farther than those 2, the South Florida Bulls, they have high-level athletes. You know, they're playing inspired basketball. Just a year and a half ago, their former coach, Amir Abdur-Rahim, tragically passed away. New head coach, Brian Hodgson's done an admirable job, not only keeping the program where they were, but elevating the program. And they have so much to play for, opening the tournament against Louisville. I think they have a real chance to get to the second weekend.
Well, Rocco Miller, we really appreciate it. And as the tournament goes on, you'll have to share, and we'll have to put your bracketology resume to the test. Thank you so much.
So
Okay.
Keith, wait a minute. I wanted to know if Keith heard this portion of what she had to say. Listen to this, Keith.
Why?
NCAA college basketball tournament is set. We are just days away from the start of March Madness. The Duke Blue Devils are the overall #1 seed heading into the tournament, and they're joined at the top of the bracket by the Florida Gators, who are looking to repeat as national champs, along with the Michigan Wolverines and the Arizona Wildcats. That is my wife's team. And on the women's side, the UConn Huskies edged out the UCLA Bruins.
Did you hear that, Keith?
Yeah.
That is her wife's team.
What? Oh,
Yeah,
here
what's
we
wrong?
go. Staci is trying to egg him on.
What
No.
the
Good,
hell?
Keith.
Keith,
Very
you can't
good,
put up
Keith.
with that, Keith.
You said so.
I
That-
heard what she played. I didn't see anything wrong. What
She
happened?
said that
Anything
this
wrong
one
with it?
particular team was her
I can't
wife's
hear her.
favorite team.
You guys will have to interpret.
She said it was her wife's team. The girl said it was her wife's team. Are you down with that?
Her wife. Oh, her wife? Oh, she
Yeah.
has. Oh, wife. Oh, gosh. Oh, no, of course not, gentlemen. You know that.
Yeah.
Todd knows.
Okay.
Todd knows about that. Yeah.
Okay,
Todd knows
so yeah, I figured as much.
Well,
I know
wait
that.
just a moment. Okay. Number one,
Right, Todd.
Staci. I don't know why you wanted to point that out
There's
to
no such
him.
thing as a
Just
wife,
to get
Todd.
okay.
You're
Okay.
breaking up, Keith. Every time you talk, you
No
break
such
up. Can you go
Yeah.
off and come back on?
Okay.
Can you go off and come back on, Keith? You're
can't
breaking
hear
up every
anybody,
time
man.
you talk.
I got to
Go
sign out
off.
and come back.
Yeah, he just
Yes,
said he's
thank
got
you.
his time.
Someone's crazy.
So anyway, the point I was making was you brought that to his attention, and you should not have because he's crazy. But two things. She said her wife, of course, and people like Keith and Steven think when the fact that she said that she was just promoting it, she was putting it in your face, and blah blah blah.
I didn't say that.
Just
I
a
don't
moment.
care.
Okay.
I don't care. I don't care what people do.
Can I finish a sentence?
No, don't
The show
put
is
me in the
only an
category.
hour. You can't go nonstop, Todd. You've already
I'm
said
not
your
going
point.
nonstop. I can't get a word in
You
edgewise.
did. We let you talk. You want me to play it back?
Yes, next week. So, like I was
Oh
trying
no,
to
I'm gonna play
say,
it back now.
good. Like I was trying to say, you pushed that to get a reaction out of Keith and Steven
This is
because
the
you know they're
second time you
crazy.
said it.
And then I was saying, these people feel like she's just pushing it on us. And the reason I say that is because Steven has said that before.
I have not.
I'm going to explain it, dummy. When there was a football player who was outed, you said, and nobody needs to know that. He keeps his mouth shut. He didn't have to even admit that. I said, well, he only admitted it because they said they're going to come out with it, whether he wants him to or not. So he got in front of it. So, like I was saying, you think it's being thrust in people's faces. You don't even have to talk about it. Just don't mention it. That's what you were saying. And I understand that, but you don't say that to a heterosexual person when he says, that's my wife's favorite team, or that's my husband's favorite team.
You are wasting time on things
Yeah, you
that
are
do
wasting a
not
lot of time,
matter.
but
I don't
I'm
care
gonna-
about gay or
Let's
straight.
see how
You
long
do.
Todd talks.
You're
Excuse me.
wasting time,
The point I
Todd.
was making was
You're just
you
wasting.
brought that to his attention, and you should not have because he's crazy.
I
But
don't care.
two things. She said her wife, of course, and people like Keith and Steven think when the fact that she said that she was just promoting it, she was putting it in your face, and blah blah blah.
I didn't say that.
Just
I
a
don't
moment.
care.
Okay.
I don't care. I don't care what people do.
Can I finish a sentence?
No, don't
The
put
show is
me in the
only an
category.
hour. You can't go nonstop, Todd. You've already
I'm
said
not
your
going
point.
nonstop. I can't get a word in
You
edgewise.
did. We let you talk. You want me to play it back?
Yes, next week. So, like I was
Oh
trying
no,
Come
I'm
on,
gonna play
say,
it back now.
Okay, what are
Good.
we doing?
like
What
I
are
was
we
trying
doing?
to say,
This has got.
you pushed that to get a reaction out of Keith and Steven
This is
because
the
you know they're
second time you
crazy.
said it.
And then I was saying, these people
It's getting too
feel
weird.
like she's just pushing it on us. And the reason I say that is because Steven has said that before.
I have
when
not.
I'm going to explain it, dummy. When there was a football player who was outed, you said, and nobody needs to know that. And he keeps his mouth shut. He didn't have to even admit that. I said, well, he only admitted it because they said they're going to come out with it, whether he wants him to or not. So he got in front of it. So, like I was saying, you think it's being thrust in people's faces. You don't even have to talk about it. Just don't mention it. That's what you were saying. And I understand that, but you don't say that to a heterosexual.
See how Todd kept going on and on and on and on and on.
No.
We had to say, I made everybody quiet and we sat here while you went. We played back you going on and on and on. This show doesn't have enough time for you to do that.
Point.
You have to make your point more concisely. You have to make it quickly. And we don't have enough time for you to go on and repeat your point multiple times. Sorry, we don't. And I showed you, nobody talked over you. Everyone let you talk and you still kept going. We can't do it. I got to move on. Out of time. Now, here is the, Keith, you're still having problems with your, I think you have something on your phone. We went over this before, you and I did separately, about what's going on with your phone. I don't know what to do about it because you said you were going to make some adjustments to your apps on your phone, but I don't know what you've done, but it's disruptive by hearing the things going.
Yeah, just go on mute.
So I'll just keep you on mute. All right. So this is a part of the March Madness bracket. You see all the teams. I'm not going to go through them. It would take me too long, but this is the start of it. And I'll go over here to the left. And then I want to ask, does anyone have an overall prediction as of right now? I know it's hard to make an overall prediction right now, but a lot of people are doing that because, you know, March Madness is the time when teams win that you don't think will win. So let's start with Cousin Todd. Do you have an overall prediction right now for March Madness teams, Todd?
Yes. One thing is Alabama's Holloway was arrested on drug charges, so he will not be playing for Alabama. I think he was caught with 2 pounds of marijuana, and so he's not going to be playing. So that takes him out of the running for Alabama. So now I think who's going to win. I think the Flyers have a good shot at winning, if I'm being honest.
All right, a total waste of our time.
What, you didn't know that the boy got arrested for marijuana charges?
No, I didn't know.
No, of course not, because you're not news people.
No.
All right, so let me see if I can play this for you.
Well, I have one.
Okay, go ahead, Stephen.
I have Arizona winning it all. I have a guru that I've known for about 40 years, and he always comes up with the winner of different venues. It could be NFL, it could be college football, it could be college basketball, it could be anything. And he comes up and he said it will be Arizona. So I will put some juice on Arizona this year.
Some juju?
Yep.
Juice. He says some juice. Okay,
Whatever
so
you
let
wanna
me share
say.
the screen and show you about this player that Cousin Todd is talking about, University of Alabama player.
Today, a University of Alabama basketball player has been arrested on drug charges. 21-year-old Aiden Holloway is charged now with first-degree possession of marijuana. This is our first look at his booking photo right here. Agents with the West Alabama Narcotics Task Force conducted a search in the 400 block of 30th Avenue East this morning. The agents recovered more than a pound of marijuana, paraphernalia, as well as cash. Bond was set at $5,000. We have reached out to UA Athletics for a comment. We'll alert you when we hear more. Remember, Holloway and the Crimson Tide have advanced to the NCAA tournament where they'll face Hofstra on Friday in Tampa.
Okay, so that's coming up this Friday. They will face Hofstra in Tampa. But I mean, I don't know. Sounds like to me this is more about, and you guys can chime in if you like, the state laws. I mean, if that player played in District of Columbia or maybe somewhere in California and he had the marijuana on him, it may not have been a big deal and he may not have been arrested with a bond and all that.
Right.
Yeah. Right.
Anyone else chime in on that?
And Stephen
Know
always
your
says,
laws. You got to know your laws, where you are, where you're located. I'm in
Very
California.
good.
I know the laws.
Very good,
I mean,
Keith. You
that's
sound better.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
That is our
Yeah.
responsibility as citizens, you know. That's what makes the law-abiding citizen compared to the unlaw-abiding citizen.
Yeah,
You
but
just
I
got to
don't.
know
I
the
don't think.
laws.
Yeah, I understand you have to know the laws, but I think with marijuana, it's just been such a bad history for so many decades with bad laws against marijuana that they shouldn't treat people like him with the marijuana thing. But most people understands, most states understand, most people collectively understand that marijuana is more of a positive thing than it is negative, and that people shouldn't be punished, then it shouldn't be put down as much as it is. And for him to be treated like this is it goes against what the justice system should be a part of.
and
Don't
you
you
Well, you
think,
said
should
Keith?
this
still
for
know.
years. You've
Still
been
should
saying
know the
that for
laws.
years, which is what I was saying, Stephen. You've not, that's not a flip-flop. You've been saying that, as well as performance enhancement drugs. Remember how you were saying nowadays it's no big deal.
Okay, thank you. I've got to move on.
Still
Yeah,
got
I
to
don't
know the
know.
What's
laws.
going on in the Senate?
Yeah, you still got to know
That
the
is.
laws, but it's just common. It's
Yeah.
real
Well,
common.
let me make this comment one more.
On this
Wait a
vote,
minute,
the yeas
Keith.
are
know the
51,
laws,
the
you
nays
save
are
your
48.
your
The
hide.
motion is agreed to.
Chair lays before the Senate the following message from the House.
The chair lays before the Senate the following message from the House.
Resolved that the bill from the Senate as 1383 entitled an act to establish the Veterans Advisory Committee and so forth and for other purposes do pass with an amendment.
Mr. President, I move to concur in the House amendment to S 1383.
The clerk will report.
The senator from South Dakota, Mr. Thune, moves to concur in the House amendment to S 1383.
May I ask that the reading be dispensed with?
Without objection.
And I move to concur in the House amendment with an amendment.
The clerk will report.
All right. So Keith, I'm sorry. You can go back to your comment. I just didn't want you to say it during the actual video. What was your comment, Keith?
What Stephen was saying, it makes sense. And Todd says, you know, about these marijuana laws, but it's still just like gun laws. You know, you have to look at the law in each state. And of course, you don't have a right to smoke marijuana. I mean, there's no inalienable right. But you know, there are laws that you have to pay attention to. You know, you pay attention to those laws, and you save your butt from getting prosecuted. I don't know why people don't get that. It's just so simple. All I
Yeah,
have to
I
do is
get it.
obey the law.
Yeah.
Just obey
Right.
the law. It's not going to kill you to obey the law.
Yeah, if you're down here in the slave hood, like slaves, like all of us, then you have to obey the law. But when you have people that you support, like Donald Trump, you don't have to obey the law. You can do whatever you want
Well,
to do.
I'll still rather obey the law because that's my
But you
house.
still rather obey the law when people that you support don't obey the law, and you
Yeah,
let them get
I will
away
obey.
with
Yeah, no, wait.
with
right.
everything, man.
Now, wait
That's
a minute.
ridiculous.
Get
Stephen,
him, Todd.
you
Get
have
him, Todd.
said for years they're going to get away with it. The rich and powerful have
Get him,
always
Todd.
and will always get away with it. We, you said, will not. So there's nothing you could do about it. Those are
No,
your
I'm
words.
saying, Todd, if we all get together, you and Keith and I and Staci and Ogunna, if we all get together and say we're not going to put up with it anymore, then they won't be able to do it to us anymore. You know, we're good people. Todd, I believe you're a good person, and Keith and Staci and Ogunna, I believe we're all good people. But I believe the people that are in charge of us, the people who make all the laws against us, I don't think they're good people. So why don't we stand up against them? They have the guns, but we have the numbers, man.
Okay.
Why can't we all come together in the whole
All right.
world?
Thank you.
Every-
I'm going to thank
everybody.
you. Thank you. Thank you. Please look at the screen. Can you see it? I'll make it a little bit bigger. President Trump's allies, this is from thehill.com. President Trump's allies are planning to take over the Senate floor this week in a bid to pass the Safeguard American Voter Eligibility Act, setting up a major test for Senate Majority Leader John Thune, who is under pressure from Trump and the MAGA base to extend the debate over voting reform for as long as possible. And Senator Thune achieved it when you just saw the video where the amendment, the vote passed. And this has to go to now the House, where the House GOP members are revolting and saying that you should not have to have identification in order to vote. This is going on because the majority in the House is Republican and the majority in the Senate is Republican. Keith,
Yeah, Stacy, did
will
you say
it
the
pass the
majority?
House?
Did you say the majority in the House say that you shouldn't have an ID you have to have one?
The
I
opposite.
said they're revolting. I said in the House,
okay.
some
Yeah,
GOP
all right.
members are revolting and saying they should not be required. Americans should not be required to provide identification in order to vote in elections.
Well, I disagree with that. Okay, I'll tell you that. You should be
Well, they
required
never
to.
had to have it. Never.
Look, when you go to buy liquor, you have to have it. When you go to buy marijuana,
But they never had to
you
have
to
it.
have
You've
it.
always
Hold
had
on.
to have it to
Well,
buy
let
liquor.
me finish. Yeah, when you go to buy marijuana, you have to have it. When you go and buy, what about all the other things you have to have an ID for? Got to have
Right.
a passport. Got to have an ID
You're
when you buy
right,
an
Keith.
airplane ticket.
You're
No,
right.
Just a minute.
voting is one of the most important rights by the Constitution that we have. So
Okay,
if you have it's a right to vote. If you have a right protected by the Constitution, then you should be allowed, or you should be required to prove that you are who you are before you vote. So
Right.
I just don't
Okay,
get.
you've already said
Okay.
that. Now,
ahead,
like I
True.
said,
It's true.
you've never had to have a license to vote. You've always had to have a license to buy alcohol. So you can't compare the two.
You
Now,
can.
having a license is something you pay for. Now, I remember Stephen saying, I think the government should buy everybody an ID.
Everybody has a
Really,
license.
Stephen's
Everybody has a
right.
license.
They do
Everybody
not.
has a
Okay, everyone does
license
not.
card.
Okay, everyone does not have a license because
So
in the
Who
state of
doesn't?
Pennsylvania, you can either have a driver's license or you can have a non-driver's identification. Everyone does
Right.
not have a driver's license.
I didn't say a
And-
driver's license. I said everybody has a license. Everybody has an identification. And you
license
just
to
said
what?
it, Stacy. You just said everybody has identification.
Right.
A
not
license doesn't have to be a
Okay.
driver's license. It can be a license that says you are a person.
Okay.
Everybody
let me
has
say
a
this.
license,
Let me
Stacy.
say
You
this.
just admitted it.
Grandmother did not
No, I
have a
didn't.
license.
You did
My
admit it.
grandmother
Everybody
did not.
has a license.
Hey,
It doesn't have to be a
here, my grandmother did not have a license.
your
So,
your grandmother
oh God.
your grandmother your grandma
So, therefore, everybody doesn't have a license. So, the people that don't have licenses, they should get a license through the government. The government should pay for it.
30s.
That's what Stephen said. And that's not Republican.
Your grandmother was in the 30s.
No, actually, she was born in 1900. So in the
Right,
30s,
but
she was 30 years
so
old.
in the 30s she couldn't do a thing. You're talking about somebody that happened in the 30s. We're talking about now. It doesn't happen like that it happened with its grandmother. That was in the 30s that it happened to her.
Okay.
Okay, we
Stephen,
got it now. We got it
same thing
straight. We
over and
straight
over and
now.
over again. It's not
We
straight.
straight.
It's just your
No,
comment.
we got
That
it
doesn't make
straight.
it straight. I'm gonna move
Because it
on
was
though.
different then than it is now.
I'm gonna move on. It's not straight.
I know
What
you
it
have to
is
move
your
on because you
comment.
know it was different
I'm
then
gonna
than it
move
is now.
on, but it's not
The
straight. It's your
Constitution
comment.
did not say you have to have a license.
Ah.
11 million people are without power after an electrical grid collapsed. This in the middle of Trump pursuing his campaign to take over Cuba's government. Now, our update you on everything going on in Cuba right now. And our Erica Gonzalez is in the newsroom tracking the very latest developments. Erica, what's the latest on this ongoing blackout?
Well, Austin, this actually marks the third major blackout on the island just over the last 4 months. And we want to show you some video. It shows dozens of people taking to the streets after those power outages. Meanwhile, the Trump administration is telling Cuba that President Miguel Diaz-Canel must step down if they want negotiations to move forward. In fact, the New York Times is reporting that the White House wants Diaz-Canel out, but so far, the Trump administration is not pushing for the Castro family to abandon power.
Taking Cuba in some form, yeah. Taking Cuba. I mean, whether I free it, take it, I think I could do anything I want with it. You want to know the truth? They're a very weakened nation.
Well, this all comes as the regime announced that it will allow Cubans living here in South Florida and across the U.S. to own businesses and invest on the island.
Okay, so then my question goes to Cousin Todd, then Stephen, then Keith, and then Ogunna. Should the United States, or does the United States have the money to take over and just take a sovereign country and a communist country at that?
Whether we have the money to do it or not, we should not do it. We are not in the business of going like Putin did and just taking over another country because we feel like it. What if somebody took us over because they felt like it? I can remember Republican presidents saying things like, "Oh, the Middle East, they don't let their women go to school. Their women are like slaves, and the women can't do anything, and the men have all the control." And I'm thinking, so you're going to bomb them or war with them? Because of what? Because white people did not allow blacks to go to school. White people did not allow women to vote. And so it's hypocritical. And so and this is why the world hates America, whether you know that or not. And because America is a baby, merely a few hundred years old. And these other countries are thousands of years old. And they watched you grow up, you know, like a big brother and a little brother. And so they've seen all your mistakes. And so when you're attacking them for doing the same thing you did just yesterday, you look like a hypocrite.
Thank you, Stephen.
This is about Cuba. This is about, should we take Cuba?
Should President Trump said, I just showed that video about Cuba.
And he said, I could take anything I want. That's crazy.
No, he said that like somebody who rapes children.
Yeah.
He can take the virginity.
All right, so wait a minute. Wait a minute. Stop right there, Stephen. We're going to take this by the horns. When you say things like that and it sounds accusatory, those are your opinions.
That's my opinion, but it's in the Epstein files.
Wait a minute. But it's how you say it that makes the difference and how it reflects on this show.
Well, I don't mean for it to reflect on the show. I'm sorry I said it.
I can't have you saying things on this show that are inflammatory or that may incite inflammatory reactions from other people, like a dog whistle.
I don't mean to do anything like that.
Okay, you can say your opinion about someone, but it doesn't have to be in that manner. And it's your opinion. It doesn't reflect the show's opinion.
All right, it's just my opinion. But what I'm saying is what we're doing with Cuba is wrong. Of course, everything, if you can add everything together, that's happening with this administration is wrong. They are destroying Cuba right now. They've cut them off from everything. Don't let them have anything, and they're so weak right now that they can take them over because they just want to take them over. This is wrong.
Like they did with
All I'm
Venezuela.
saying is I don't want to fight with anybody anymore. I want all of us to come together as human beings all over the world, the good people in this world. Let's come together. Iran, we never should have went against Iran.
Okay, thank you. We still have, okay, Stephen, you got to stop. We still have Iran to talk about.
All right, I appreciate you, Staci. I'm just saying, I'm not coming from a bad point. I'm not trying to upset people.
Okay, Keith.
Well, you notice everything that Trump has done so far with foreign countries. He's eliminating. There's one factor that you guys keep leaving out, and you don't seem to want to discuss that, I guess, is that he's dealing with communist countries, China, Cuba, Russia, some parts of the Middle East. They're more religious.
Russia's
He didn't attack China.
No,
Russia's not communist.
Russia is not a. Okay, look. My statement is this. You can refute it if you want. I can see it. It's obvious. He's dealing with Cuba and all these countries. These are terrorist regimes. They keep their people enslaved, and hopefully, I mean, if we were to get control,
Russia,
the people would no longer be enslaved. It would be like Puerto Rico or like they would
Puerto
be.
Rico.
Okay,
would
what
be-
about Greenland? He wanted to take
Greenland as
Greenland,
well.
and Greenland is not enslaved people, and they're not
All right.
communist.
Well, Greenland would be better off too. Simple as
It
that.
doesn't matter what
Everybody would
Trump
be
does.
better
He's
off,
gonna
right?
support him.
Okay,
According
Ogunna.
according to Ogunna, we have the strongest economy in the world.
Okay,
That's what Ogunna.
Yeah, I mean,
Ogunna say that.
it's,
So everybody would be better if we took them over, right? The whole world.
No, but we don't need the whole
well,
world.
if
We don't
you
need them.
believe,
We're strong.
if you believe in
Ogunna said
trickle
that.
down economics, right? So he's doing a lot of this because it's very transactional.
Do you have a light, Ogunna? Because I
Yeah, I
can
have a
hardly
light.
see you.
I see. We can see you, Ogunna. Don't let him piss. Don't let him piss you off.
He's always saying it. Anyway, but he's being very transactional, right? So he's going into Cuba because he wants to open up that economy. I mean, prior to the sanctions being put in, Cuba was a destination that U.S. used to go there all the time before the communists moved in there. And so, and even in his press conference, he mentioned that he said, for a long time, all these administrations have been putting embargoes and things on Cuba, but we never went in there and did anything about it. So he's saying, hey, now that we have Venezuela, now that we've pulled in Maduro, we kind of taken over Venezuela, if you would. Well, they're putting pressure on that regime. Now they
Which
gave
is
most
dirty.
most of their oil went to Cuba, and so now you got pressure on Cuba. So the dominoes are falling. And then as far as Iran is concerned, again, the timing, the thought process, letting Netanyahu kind of dictate U.S. foreign policy and going in there anyway.
It is outrageous.
Again,
Amateur.
both Venezuela and Iran trade oil not in U.S. dollars.
Oh,
now
get
that
out
you're
of
putting
here.
pressure on
We
these
had no
countries-
business doing that when we did it.
Now
He's
you're putting
the
pressure on
only
these
dumbest
countries to trade
president that
oil in
did
U.S.
that.
dollars. That's going to prop up
Todd's
our
right
economy.
about that.
So the inadvertent way that he's doing is he's trying to project U.S. power on the world, even though he said he wasn't going to start wars. But again, he said peace through strength, and a lot of this
No,
stuff,
he lied.
a lot of this stuff he signed up for because he said he's doing exactly what he said he was going to
No,
do.
he did not.
He
No
said he
foreign
was not going to
wars.
start a new
Yes,
war.
exactly.
He started a new war.
Until he had to, basically, is what he's doing now. He's saying
Oh,
he
stop
tried to
it,
negotiate. So
Steve.
now
He didn't have to start a
He
new
didn't
war.
have to do anything.
Are you saying he had to start a new war, Guna?
According to him, I mean,
what?
obviously, he started a new war because he tried to negotiate with Iran.
No, he didn't. They were negotiating. No, he cowardly started a war while they were negotiating with him in Israel. No, they were cowards. The United States and Israel were cowards.
So this is what he did. He said, look,
Thank
I'm
you.
not going to give
Thank
you your
you,
money
Ogunna.
back. You're going to open up your economy to U.S. companies. If you want to have nuclear power, we'll have U.S. companies come in there and show you how to do it right. You're going to open up your economy to the U.S. If you don't, we're going to bomb you. That's what he did.
Okay, thank you. Let's
They were negotiating with him, and they blew him
Let's
up.
on. You can still talk about it.
Yes, 38% no. This is the banter back and forth, even as obviously the military operation is being characterized as being very successful, and we have markers on that. What's your thoughts about where we are right now and where we may be headed?
Stupid,
Well, the
man.
most important thing, Brett, and thank you for having me, but the most important thing is to recognize that Iran has been at war with us for at least 47 years.
That's
all the
a
way from
lie.
1979. People may forget. They took our embassy hostage 444 days. They were responsible for the killings of 300 plus Marines in Lebanon in the early 1980s. If you ask people about Iraq, what was the source of many of our casualties in Iraq, you'll get estimates as high as 75 or 80% of them were due to Iranian-made roadside bombs. And so they've been at war for us a long time. They also have developed the military capability to have reach outside of the boundaries of Iran, including Hezbollah and Hamas, which they both arm and equip and continue to arm and equip even after the events of the summer. And I myself negotiated 4 Security Council resolutions calling them a threat to international peace and security under Chapter 7, the strongest chapter of the UN Security Council resolutions, because of their nuclear ambitions. So to say that this regime was not a threat, I think is simply not, it's ahistorical. They have been a threat for a long time.
You know,
Where
you
are the
can
weapons of mass
praise the
destruction?
military's action, its effectiveness,
Stephen?
how precise it is, the amazing things we're seeing every day of the U.S. military and the Israeli military, for that matter, while still raising questions about how long is this going to last? Is it worth the blood and treasure that we're doing currently? You know, another poll, the handling of Iran, does it make us safer, less safe? No difference. Less safe is at 51%. So there is this skittishness or skepticism out there, even if you're wholeheartedly supporting what the military is doing every day.
Well, because there is uncertainty with any military operation and what the aftermath might be. But I think if the goal of the administration is to render Iran incapable of using its military forces outside of its borders, of threatening our neighbors, our allies, of threatening our bases abroad, which we're seeing they are capable of doing. If it is trying to deny them a conventional umbrella for their nuclear ambitions, that is a worthy goal. Now, what comes after? People are, of course, concerned about that. But if you can render Iran essentially incapable of military action against us and against our allies, that's worthy. And I think what they're trying to do is to neuter Iran as a military power in the region. And by the way, the Iranians, who I think made a strategic blunder in attacking the Gulf states like the UAE or Kuwait or others,
Todd, she's a black woman. Why aren't you on her side?
Its goal to be a destabilizing force in the Middle East. Yes, you can still be concerned about what may come after. Can still be concerned about the uncertainties of warfare, but to render this awful regime incapable of using its military power, that's a worthy goal.
Yeah. So I think the question is, do you use military force?
That's good. You know, that's just like David and Goliath, you know. Goliath kept intimidating the Israelites for days.
But Iran is not Goliath.
We've been threatened. Well, we've been threatened for 47 years. They have been a imminent threat. That means that they were capable of killing us. They could have. They killed
could
a lot
not.
of Americans.
They could not.
And so they killed a lot of Americans. We know that. She said it, and it's true.
You're repeating talking points, but how many Americans died as a result? What's the number?
They killed large numbers of Americans.
How many?
They've been intimidating us. and they were developing capability of using
Where are you talking
firing
about, in
rockets
Beirut? Or are you talking
and
about
their
over there?
military force.
All right, let me move on and bring up.
Here's
Beirut
the
was
thing,
done by Israel.
Let's
We
not
can
pretend like
continue.
we've been in this 47-year war. The question
me.
is the
7 years,
timing and the
gasoline
method.
prices and oil prices, not just the 3 states that I talk about with $1.99 a gallon. How would you like to have $1.99? You know, that's the equivalent of a very major tax cut.
Welcome back. Now, that was President Trump in Pennsylvania back in December, touting low energy and gas prices. Today, the average price for a gallon of gas in Pennsylvania is $3.76, according to AAA. That's higher than last week, and it's up more than 60 cents from a month ago. NBC News senior national politics reporter John Allen has been speaking with Pennsylvania voters. He's been out kind of on a road trip here in Millersburg, about 25 miles north of Harrisburg. He joins me now. And John, I understand you're sort of in a Trump supportive part of Pennsylvania, and there are a lot of those in Pennsylvania. What are you hearing about how people there are feeling about gas prices, and are they factoring that in how they view the war in Iran?
Well, first, Kelly, I would be remiss if I did not wish Kelly O'Donnell a happy St. Patrick's Day.
Right back at
So
you,
happy
my
St.
friend.
Patrick's Day.
I'm genetically
I am
required to be
part
in
of
green.
Pennsylvania. And,
I'm sorry.
I
Go
can't see
ahead,
you right
John.
now,
Go
but
ahead.
I'm
You're
sure
on the
you
road
look
trip
lovely
here.
and green. Okay, so I'm in Millersburg, Pennsylvania. The reason I'm here is it's a swing district, Pennsylvania's 10th district in a swing state. President Trump won this district by about 5 points, but the local congressman, Scott Perry, is in danger of losing in the midterms. And we wanted to talk to people about their feelings about gas prices, about the war. You mentioned Pennsylvania's average gas price, about $3.76 a gallon right now. We went to like the cheapest place around, $3.54.9 a gallon here, and talk to folks. Better you hear from them than from me.
Yes, so
about how
talk
they're
to
feeling.
them.
Let's roll the tape.
The decision to strike Iran.
It was a great decision. I think somebody else should have done it a couple of years ago, the last 3 other presidents.
Are you willing to pay higher prices at the pump if that's the cost?
Yeah, I'm willing to pay a little more, yeah.
What do you think about the war?
I think he's doing the right thing. You know, in the long run, it's going to help us out because if they get nuclear weapons, we might not even be here in a couple of years. So I think he's doing a good job.
Nuclear weapons.
Is it worth the rise in the price of
That's
gas?
rich.
I think so.
What do you think about the U.S. decision to go into Iran?
Nuclear
I think
weapons.
we got to do what we got to do to keep this country safe. So, and if it
Yeah.
means paying a little bit more in gas right now to keep everybody safe, then
Look how dumb and
that's what we
ignorant
got
these
to do.
people
And
are.
eventually, they'll come back down.
Real Americans.
And Kelly, most of the people we talked to were supportive of the war and
Yes.
willing to pay the higher gas prices for the war. Some of them because
Why
they
not?
believe
We
in the
paid
goals of
them
the
in
war,
COVID.
others because they trust President Trump. But not everybody felt that way, and not everybody's excited about Trump here, and not everybody's planning to vote for Republicans in the midterms who supported Trump. Let's take a listen to one more woman who we spoke with. If you could say something to President Trump and he was going to hear you right now, what would it be?
You're a worthless pile of
And you voted for him how many times?
3 times. That was my bad. Apparently, I'm an idiot.
Yes, you are.
Okay.
Yes, you are an idiot. I tell you, it's during COVID we paid high prices too, especially in California. We've been paying high prices, so it doesn't move us.
Okay.
We pay
Thank you.
$6. Ours
you,
went up to
Keith.
$7.
Isn't that a deflection, though, Keith?
Yeah.
Hey
Thank you.
Keith, you only voted for Trump 2 times, like I did. You voted
Well,
for
let
Ted
me ask
Cruz.
Ogunna. I want to ask Ogunna something because Ogunna's the expert on this. Ogunna, you probably know, and I'm not trying to trap you with this. I
Of
really want
course
to
you
know
are.
who
You're
no,
projecting. Go
Ogunna,
ahead.
who determines gas prices? Obviously, it's not the free market. So, who determines it? Is it OPEC or who is it? It's not the president. It's not whether we go to war or not because gas prices were up during COVID as well.
Hey Keith,
So who
when we
determines?
start a war, we hurt gas prices. When we start a war, we hurt gas prices.
Yeah, because basically
whoever the
brokers,
president is
Why
takes
is
credit
that?
for it.
Well, especially when we
oil
seize their
brokers
oil.
start betting that the supply is going to go down.
Yeah,
Because
Keith, it's not Keith. You don't have to be a
no,
brain
listen to
surgeon.
I mean,
Ogunna.
you
Listen
have
to
plenty, you
Ogunna.
have plenty of supply of oil, but it's the brokers that hedge the bet. So I mean, the fact that these prices are going up are self-inflated. It doesn't take this long. I mean, they're just a lot of gouging is going on. It's not like we're going to run out of gas just because the Straits of Hormuz has been mined. Now,
Yeah, it's not
things
gouging.
that the administration can do to try to get that futures, like again, like they unleashed the oil supply. That's not really going to do anything, right? Because we got enough oil. Oil is not in short supply in the world. It's just how greedy these brokers are, right?
Thank you,
So,
Ogunna. Thank you.
a lot
Yeah,
of
but they're
this,
not
Why are you
gouging
thanking
because
him?
they're blocking the
Why are you thanking him?
Well, because I agree with Ogunna. I mean, I believe what he's saying. You know, you got people gouging. You got certain people that are in
they're
control
not
of the market,
gouging.
and that's what he's
it is
talking
about supply and demand. Now, see how does that trickle down work, right? So you can have
They're not
countries
gouging.
like China and things. They can start, they can start buying oil futures to drive the price up. There's different ways you can manipulate the markets, right? And so, because the headlines are saying Strait of Hormuz is blocked, brokers are going to take advantage of that, right? They're going to start charging their suppliers more and things like that. So, and it's trickle down effect. There is a pipeline that goes around the Strait of Hormuz that you can use to get the oil out. It's just a matter of how greedy people want to be, right? And so, there are ways around this. However, the easy way, and again, it's all about smoke and mirrors and politics, right? Because at the end of the day, you would hope that the administration had planned for this, to happen, because the markets are going to react regardless. They're gonna speculate. They're gonna come and say, hey, the supply is dwindling. We're gonna jack prices up, because at the end of the day, consumers get mad, but we pay anyway. The airlines are gonna say, okay, the prices are up. We're gonna still buy plane tickets and go anyway. It's not like we're gonna stop buying. They're just going to see how much they can get out of us.
We had to release our reserves.
Thank you.
You don't know that, right? We released our reserves.
We didn't have to. We did it as a way to try to
protecting you, and you don't want to get involved in something that is very minor.
Trump seeking reinforcements to the Strait of Hormuz under fire from Iran, blocking a fifth of the world's oil supply.
We strongly encourage other nations whose economies depend on the strait far more than ours.
But many countries rebuffing, worried about dragging the world into a wider conflict. UK Prime Minister Keir Starmer with this message after speaking with Trump.
We will not be drawn into the wider war.
The German defense minister with a harsher response.
We are ready to ensure safe passage through the Straits of Hormuz diplomatically. However, there will be no military participation.
The president still insisting some countries will join, but he won't say who.
I'd like to say their names, but frankly, I don't know if they would want me to or not, because maybe they don't want to be targeted.
Then reversing course.
My attitude is we don't need anybody. We're the strongest nation in the world. We have the strongest military by far in the world. We don't need them.
Overseas strikes
just
escalating. A
asked them to
residential
help.
building used by the U.S. consul in Jerusalem
Right. You're
damaged
right.
by debris from an Iranian projectile over the weekend. Tamara Walker lives in the building.
I was sitting at home, and all of a sudden, this amazingly loud boom.
And a notable admission from the president today, saying the U.S. was shocked at Iran's response to this war, specifically by firing at neighboring countries in the Middle East. Olivia Rubin, ABC News, Washington.
Okay, so let me start.
France said
Go
no
ahead.
too, by the
Go
way.
ahead. Stop, please. Go ahead, Ogunna, real quick. You
I
got
just want real quick. If the president wanted to, he could nationalize oil and say, hey, look, from here on out, U.S. companies cannot sell oil overseas in the overseas market. They can only sell it domestically. Because it wasn't, and that's what happened back in the 70s when they had the embargo. I think it was President Obama that actually allowed U.S. companies to actually release to sell overseas and go into the free market of the global economy. He can come back and
Well,
nationalize it and say, hey, you can only sell it domestically, and you can cap the amount of oil, the oil prices within country, because we make enough oil to consume it ourselves. It's just that our oil companies want to sell it on the global market, so they're selling it
Okay,
overseas.
thank you.
He
Cousin
can
Todd.
technically cap
Highest
it
bidder.
if he wanted to. He's trying to pressure NATO and these other allies to see what they're going to do. Right? He's actually trying to call their bluff on a couple of things and get them to participate in his war with Iran.
Okay.
But at the end of the day, these prices aren't still as high as they used to be. So part of it, if push comes to shove, you may see him nationalize oil and cap the prices if he wants.
He's
to. That's
not.
the type of guy he is.
Okay, Cousin Todd, you heard
Again,
from
they'll make
some
a
of
lot of
the
money.
residents of Pennsylvania said they're willing to pay higher prices for the gas because they think we should have attacked Iran. Your comments to that?
Well, those people are dumb and ignorant and typical Trump supporters. They don't know enough. This is why when they can trick them by saying, "Oh, they had weapons that would reach the United States." They did not. They do not. They did not. They will not. But they know how dumb you are, so they can tell you that and you believe it. Oh no! So we've got to go to war. I bet you he didn't ask any of those people, are your children going to go to war? What about your grandchildren? The answer is no. No.
Yeah, they are.
Thank you,
Their
Stephen.
people are not in the military, or they wouldn't be so gung-ho like Keith is to war.
So,
Whenever you
so
see these
Stephen,
people are gung-ho,
thank you, Cousin
they have
Todd.
no children or grandchildren in the military.
Okay, thank you,
I
Cousin.
understand what you're saying. I understand what you're
Stephen,
saying.
my question to you is your comment and your thoughts on former Secretary and National Security Advisor, Secretary of State Condoleezza Rice.
I wanted to say that Iran is no joke, and that we're in a really deep situation right now that we shouldn't be in. That I wouldn't want anybody's kids, grandkids, or anybody to be in right now, because the Iran situation is no joke. There's nobody to be played with.
11 are dead so far, Americans.
No, it's more than that. We're not getting it.
I'm sure.
Yeah, we're not getting the true representation of how many people have died or how many people are injured. We're not getting everything we should get. Our media is not telling us what's happening.
Right.
And we went to war for Israel. And a lot of people, a lot of our soldiers do not want to fight for Israel. And I don't blame them.
And
I wouldn't
Marco
either.
Rubio said so practically.
Right. You're right. You're right.
right,
This
thank
is
you.
not what we wanted. This is not where we want our tax dollars to go to. We want something better than this, but we don't have it. This is awful.
Okay, so the president talked about one of the national security advisors that resigned today because of the war. Let's hear what President Trump had to say.
Counterterrorism.
Mhm.
He just resigned today. He said he can't support your conflict with Iran. What's your reaction to that? And did you?
Well, I read his statement. I always thought he was a nice guy, but I always thought he was weak on security, very weak on security. I didn't know him well, but I thought he seemed like a pretty nice guy. But when I read his statement, I realized that it's a good thing that he's out, because he said that Iran was not a threat. Iran was a threat. Every country realized what a threat Iran was. The question is whether or not they wanted to do something about it.
Your director of national counter.
Okay, who has a comment about that?
It's just interesting because he hired him, right? He's the one that nominated this, and this guy that resigned is a big time MAGA.
Yeah. Right, 100%.
He's behind Trump. He's behind.
He's
Trump.
just like me. He's just like me, Ogunna. Just like me.
Should have hired me. Because
I'm all because this guy is a former Green Beret. I mean, I wasn't really high on this guy, but
no, he's a bigot. This guy's a bigot, a nasty.
I don't think he's a bigot.
He hung around with Nazis. That may put you in that category. But
I don't think Nazis are bad guys.
Oh, okay,
cool. Of course, you would.
That tells you a lot. That tells a lot.
Yeah, I think Israelis are the bad guys.
So that is Joe Kent, 45 years of age, who resigned. and did not agree with the president on the war.
And said we went to the war because of the Jews.
This represents
Israel.
This represents what you're seeing with Stephen, what's happening within the MAGA movement, right? You see this anti-Israel is coming out because they believe that Israel is getting the U.S. to go into these conflicts based on, because the fact is, the bottom line of it is, and Rubio even said it. He said that because Israel is like, we're going to strike Iran whether the U.S. wants to or not. And the president said that we had to act because at the end of the day, just like Iran was firing on all the Gulf states, they would have fired on U.S. troops and everything in retaliation. So that's where you have this fraction within the MAGA movement who does not like the fact that Israel is getting us into these conflicts and is driving U.S. foreign policy, right? And
right on, Ogunna, right on, Ogunna, 100%.
And you see what, and Kent, his wife died in Syria as I think there was a roadside bomb and stuff like that.
He did, right? That's correct. You're right. You're right.
He was very anti-Israel driving U.S. foreign policy.
Exactly.
The fact of the matter is, in the U.S. was stuck in a rock and a hard place, because once Trump moved the embassy from Tel Aviv to Jerusalem, and he started meeting with Netanyahu and saying, hey, we got your back regardless. There are folks on this show that said, hey, Israel has the right to defend itself. And so over the last several months, you saw an escalation of Israel, not only after Gaza, but you saw them going into Lebanon against Hezbollah. You saw them attacking Iran several times. I think the strike 7 months ago against their nuclear reactor by the Trump administration was trying to preempt some of this right now.
Right. You're right.
They got intelligence and they said, hey, we didn't finish the job. In fact, we want to go a step further in regime change and take care of the Ayatollah. So we went over there, and so Israel's going to do it regardless. So the U.S. had to decide.
And that's wrong.
Israel can't do it without the United States.
Exactly.
The United States helps Israel do what they need to do. They can't do it without us.
No.
And that's why we're just as evil as Israel is.
Well,
what Israel is doing to the Muslims is evil.
When we talked about this several years ago and said, hey, we need to rein in Israel because they're going to get us into this conflict. Everybody said we were evil and we were anti-Semitic.
Nobody said you were. Nobody said you were, because you were just with us. We didn't know it, but we know now. So we know. Wait a minute. Hey, stop, guys. Can we understand now that Israel is the bad guy?
Hallelujah.
Israel is the bad guy.
So Stephen, this is the dog whistling I was talking about that I can't have you doing. You can
what
say
am I
that
dog
you don't
whistling?
like
this is where it gets very.
You don't like what Israel has done. That's your opinion. If that is your opinion,
specifically,
but you can't.
Well, that's the problem. Because of a lot of this has to do with the Jewish lobby. You got to be very careful and specific when you're talking about. It's the difference between the Israeli government and Jewish people, and whether
I'm not talking about Jewish people.
Well, that's
I'm not talking about Jewish people. I'm talking about the government.
Okay,
because the debate
you
has
have to
become
be specific. We're telling you how you have to talk.
I'm talking about Zionism.
Well, that's the thing. Because you have a state of Israel, and you have again. It's
I thought people could understand what I'm saying.
No,
I'm not talking about the people.
This is why we can't have honest conversations.
The American people, the Iranian people, the Israeli people, we're all good people. It's the governments that screw us up. It's all the governments. It's not the people. I'm not mad at the people.
Right. There's been leaders on both sides, the left and the right, that have used that rhetoric to.
You're right. I know what you're saying, but you know me better than that. I'm not saying it's the people.
I'm not talking specifically you. I'm just saying in general.
All right, I'm cool. We're cool. I understand what you're saying. We're cool. I'm just saying the people of all these countries are good people. I want all the people of these countries to come together, and we can. If we all get together, we can win.
All right, I got to move on. We're out of time. I want you to see this. This will be our roundtable discussion.
The busiest spring break travel week yet.
I'm a TSA I'm all the way back in baggage claim.
With building frustration and long lines at key airports, including Austin, Atlanta, and LaGuardia. After missing a second paycheck, The TSA says 366 officers have now quit. Hundreds are calling out every day to work a second job to make ends meet.
This is a kitchen table issue. Sit at the table, speak to the TSA officers, find out from them what's going on.
For some, it's potentially life and death.
I've heard from officers who cannot afford co-payments for cancer treatments or office visits for their sick children.
The airports with the highest call-out rates include 21% in Atlanta, JFK, and Houston Hobby, 16% in New Orleans, 14% in Pittsburgh. When Republican Senator Cornyn showed up with burgers for TSA officers, Democratic Congressman Greg Casar was there.
Instead of bringing people burgers, he should bring them their paychecks.
On Truth Social, President Trump said the crazed Democrats are not allowing TSA agents to get paid. Democrats have offered to fund TSA, but want changes to ICE procedures after 2 Americans were killed in Minneapolis. The TSA's advice, get to the airport 2 to 3 hours early.
We are concerned that if this continues, it's a matter of if, not when, we're going to have significant impacts at the airport, and those impacts are just going to worsen.
Tonight, no sign of compromise on Capitol Hill. The TSA insists security not being compromised, but officers and passengers are paying the price every day. Hallie?
Okay, thank you. This is our roundtable discussion. We're going to start with Keith, then Stephen, then Ogunna, then Cousin Todd on the problem that has arisen because of the non-funding of TSA, because of the ICE actions of officers who killed 2 people in Minneapolis. I mean, in Minnesota. I'm sorry, it wasn't necessarily Minneapolis. Starting with Keith. Keith?
Well, that's why I'm for private industry, actually. But, it is what it is. We've got that situation. I used to work for TSA, by the way, during the Bush administration. I worked for 2 years with TSA at the airport, LAX. That was my station. And I stopped. I quit. That's after I found out what he was doing with immigration and everything. I didn't like it, so I got me another job. And I worked for the school system. But once again, that is a problem. I mean, we didn't have a union. I don't guess they do now. So there's not much they can do. But get another job. Some of these guys have already done that, as she
Okay,
said.
what about the safety of the passengers getting on these aircrafts and traveling across the country? Because no one is not enough people there to adequately check their belongings.
Maybe the Democrats who refuse to, the Democrats who have shut down the funding, maybe they ought to go down and work TSA, work it. Maybe they ought to go down and work those airports. How about that?
Okay, thank you. Okay, Keith.
Why are you saying right on, Stephen?
Because right on, or whoever is making this happen, make them go down there and work. If Republicans or Democrats or independents, libertarians, I don't care.
Just get anybody. We're out of time. Stephen, go ahead.
Just get anybody out there that could do it, because I don't care. But you know what I'm not going to do? I'm not flying anywhere. I don't care. I'll walk 1,000,000 miles. I ain't flying anywhere because I don't trust the government.
About you.
I don't trust TSA. I don't trust any of that. I'll walk 1,000,000 miles before I fly 100 miles. I ain't messing with flying right now. Y'all can do all that you want. Everything's too weird right now. So enjoy your flying. I'm not flying.
Thank you, Ogunna.
Yeah, so I mean, what the Democrats have proposed is to fund TSA, and they basically, the thing is about funding.
Did you hear that, Stephen?
They want to fund any individual agency, regardless of
ICE,
right? Except for ICE, correct? Until they have the reforms. Right. Now, the job of Congress is to compromise and to come together and discuss it and figure it out. But both have their own means. They know the Democrats know if they fund ICE. The Republicans want the ICE funded, so if they just fund TSA, they're going to lose their leverage on the bigger funding package. Now, meanwhile, the president has already funded ICE through executive order, so it's more so about other types of funding around the agency. It's not even about the main immigration stuff that's being enforced, because I think it's funded separately. That being said, both sides have made this table stakes issues. And the thing is, it won't get any better until they feel the pain, they being the American people. It's going to take these long lines. It's going to take this, the war in Iran, security issues. It's going to take all these things for the rails to
gas
come off,
prices.
for things to actually happen, unfortunately. I think Trump said it, President Trump said it maybe a year ago. You're going to feel some pain before things get better, right? And so Americans are going to feel the pain until that pressure comes on the government to act. But right now, both sides have their own agenda to not act. And so until these lines get longer, until we have like some security issues and things like that, you're not going to see any compromise anytime soon.
Yeah.
Thank you, Cousin Todd.
Right.
I wanted to get back to what Stephen was clapping about. Yeah, the Democrats should go out there and work TSA. The Democrats said they weren't going to fund ICE, and you were supporting that because you said those ICE cops were killing Americans, so they shouldn't be funded. Now all of a sudden you're clapping, but it's like you I don't know if you're listening or what, but
leave Stephen alone.
The Democrats were on your side, Stephen. Maybe you just didn't know it again, but Stephen, I'm going to ask you a favor. Say no to drugs. Now,
No. I'll say no to drugs.
No.
Do you have a point to finish, or you just want to laugh?
Yeah, Todd, what happened, man? Nas, we need you. What do you need, Todd?
Don't take pills when you drink, Stephen. One or the other.
I have got coconut water and assorted fruit. That's what I do, man.
Okay, that means vodka and Percocet.
I know. I did vodka when I was 21. I thought I was going to die. I did like a half a gallon with another kid with me, and we were in a limousine, and I thought I was going to die. So I never did vodka after that. So you're wrong.
All right, thank you. To our first responders in our communities, you make our lives livable. Thank you, thank you, thank you to the women and men of the U.S. military who are out there right now. We are forever indebted for your service. On behalf of Ogunna, the voice of reason, Stephen, the independent thinker, Keith, the constitutional conservative, and my laughing cousin Todd.
You got a 69 on your hat, Todd? Why you got 69 on your hat?
You see, there's a 1 in there. But of course, you would think 69.
All right, thank you. I'm Staci Johnson. Let's keep this conversation going on X, Twitch, Stephanie Stallworth, The Flow Television Network, Facebook. Check us out on Instagram. Please check us out and like and subscribe to our YouTube channel at Sporlitiks. Check us out on TikTok at Sporlitiks.com on TikTok, please. We really enjoyed our show tonight, and we'll talk to you next week. Did I get everybody?
Yeah, I think so. Me too.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, you do real salt, you do limes, and you do coconut water.
Oh my god.
And it's really good for you.
Well,
and I also add like blackberries and blueberries and
Stephen
stuff.
was a lot more cool today. Stephen,
And
you did very
scotch.
good. You were cool.
It's because of my energy drink.
I still maintain my position. Stephen has changed his mind a bit. That's okay.
Yeah. Yeah, you still my brother,
We're
man.
winning. We're winning. We're winning.
Yes.
I believe
I think even
in
you,
peace.
Ogunna, even you have come over to the right a little bit. Yeah, that's all right. I
Yeah.
like that.
I've always been in the middle.
But
I know
you
what
moved
Trump is
to
doing.
the
I don't
middle
necessarily
right.
agree with everything he's doing, but I understand what he's doing.
All
Whether
right.
it works out.
All
It
right.
will not work out because Americans can't take the squeeze, and Trump isn't even interested in whether you can deal with the squeeze or not. And this is going to last clear through to the summer. And you think this war will be over, in a week or two. No, it's not. And the retaliation is going to be felt.
Yeah, but you remember Ogunna thought
Stephen.
the war was going to be
I don't
over
care how
in
long
just
it
a
takes.
few days. Remember, Ogunna thought that, but that was not correct. This is Iran. Iran ain't no
it's not
joke,
gonna be
man.
over. It's not going to be over anytime soon because
You
Iran
thought
will
it was going to be over in a few days if you go back last week or the week before. He's
Iran
like,
will get
oh, it's going to be over in a couple
Our
days.
military action, we're going to eventually have to curtail our military action because again, we're shooting $1 million missiles, interceptors against $50 drones.
And
we're blowing up $50.
Yeah, but what they're
drones
doing
with
now
$1
is they're using their big time money, their money weapons now. They use cheap
Russia might
weapons
help
to get
them.
us to use our expensive
China
weapons
might
to
help
stop
them,
them.
So that'll
We
keep
never
them going.
we never should have went up against Iran. We never should have
Keep
done
us
it.
that
We
way.
never should have
They're
done
a
it.
big country. They're in it for the long haul. They've been
We
fighting.
never should have went against Iran. That was a big
Have been
mistake.
fighting for 3,000 years.
Okay,
Kamala Harris would not have gone against Iran.
Okay, I don't know what that's supposed to mean. But Stacy was going to make the point, but she didn't. I don't know why. How much this war is costing versus the war we just got out
It's
of.
$1 billion a day.
It's too much. It's too much, right? It's too much. It costs too much.
And
we'll be okay.
Stacy was saying
We won't be okay. This is ridiculous. We cut off our own heads.
Okay.
The problem is we're going to spend ourselves again. Trump is a businessman, but you put a businessman in charge of the U.S. economy, right? And so
He's not
all
a
the U.S. has
businessman.
ever done.
Why? That's a
was print
joke.
money.
Trump has always gone bankrupt 6 times.
Right,
So
he
he's
has,
not a
and you
businessman.
put him in charge of a country that prints the money that he went bankrupt in. So now he's just going to print more money. That's all he's going to do. He's printing money.
There's not going to be anything else to print, man. We're killing ourselves right now.
Well, that's why he has Trump coin. That's why he did all these other deals.
Yeah, it's going to go to Bitcoin. Hey, invest in Bitcoin, everybody. Invest in Bitcoin.
Right. That's already, you're going to have to, that's already unstable.
Well,
because again, Bitcoin has lost almost 75% of its value in the last couple of months.
Yeah.
We'll be blessed.
Not 75%.
We'll be blessed.
No.
America is blessed.
But it has gone
Why
down.
would America be blessed with everything we did,
One
Keith?
nation under
Hey,
God.
Keith,
We'll come back.
why is America
We'll be
blessed?
great. We'll be blessed.
America's not
We'll be great
blessed.
again.
We
And
run
guess what? All the other countries will benefit.
child sex slavery through our country. How are we blessed?
All right, I want to make the point.
Keith, the thing is, America's in decline right now.
We're
and
in
a lot
decline.
of the things that's happening is self-inflicted. And it's cyclical. You look at different empires throughout the ages. You look at the Roman Empire, the British Empire. They all went through these phases in which people thought there's no way the U.S. or we can collapse because we're just the number one economy. We have all these. We have all this.
We're overextended. We're overextended.
And that's what happens to all empires. The British Empire never set. Sun never set on the British Empire.
It's not good. We're not celebrating this, Keith. We're all Ogunna's upset about it. I'm upset about it.
By going into wars and you start spending money that you don't have. Fund
right. We're $30 trillion in debt.
A bold prediction.
$40 trillion in debt.
I want to make a bold prediction, Stacy and Stephen. I want you guys to remember this because, whether you're a Christian or not, I'm not judging that. But
I believe in
we
Jesus
need to
Christ.
remember, as long as Christians, as long as the church.
I don't believe in Christians.
On planet Earth. As long as we're here, guess what? We're going to survive. We're going to do well. We're going to thrive. And
so how many
famines and
defeats did the Israelites go through
back from that
in the Bible?
You just watch. We're going to do well.
Quoting the Bible. How many times did the Israelites go into slavery? How many times did their kingdoms collapse? How many times were they defeated in battle? How many times did all that happen?
Yes.
in the Bible.
Yes.
We cannot be involved with Israel of 1948. We cannot be involved with Israel of 1948.
Calls it that. There's a time that the Lord
Where'd
will
you
return.
get those numbers,
When he
Stephen?
returns,
From you, Todd.
when you wake up one morning and all the
You're
Christians
welcome.
are gone, all the churches are gone, you're going to say, what the heck happened?
Hey,
Aliens?
Keith.
No,
Keith.
guess what? Christ will return his church back. And that's when things are going to get rough.
Hey,
So
Keith, Israel is corrupt.
Don't
Israel
put me
is
in this,
corrupt.
Todd. Put yourself in it. Don't put me in this. Use yourself.
Stacy said the last war was $100 million a day. This war, and that was
It's
for
$1 billion.
$28 years.
Doesn't matter.
$1 billion.
$100 million a day for a war we were in for 20 years, Stacy said.
Doesn't
this
matter.
war is $1 billion a day.
Right.
Doesn't matter.
On the ground yet.
Irrelevant.
Why
That's what
does
you
it
said,
matter,
Stacy.
Keith?
It's irrelevant. Doesn't matter.
So a viewer is asking about whether or not I just received a text from a viewer who said, is it, let me read it so I just don't say it incorrectly. Isn't it concerning that Putin makes it clear that he supports Iran?
No, he always supported Iran and not Trump.
We know that. Yeah.
He was just teasing Trump just
So
like
then we
Stephen
left the
teased
sanctions
Keith.
on him. We left the
But
sanctions.
he was never going to marry.
The left wing
Putin was
of
never
the
going to
United
marry
States
Trump.
said the left
Just
wing
like
said that
Stephen
Donald
was
Trump
never-
was in bed with Russia. That's what the
Hey,
left
but you
wing
guys are
said. They
forgetting
lied.
one thing. Russia is so busy dealing with Ukraine, they may deplete all of their, Ogunna, they may deplete a lot of their military capability.
No, because Trump just made sure that
they got money out of the oil. They're getting the
that he's
sanctions are
getting
lifted.
money. That's exactly right.
You saved them.
That
And then they said, while Trump eases sanctions on Putin.
yes, and that's because Trump thinks Putin will marry him, just the same way you think Stephen. Well, never mind.
Stephen is.
Nobody has time for your jokes, Todd.
Stephen and I don't agree.
You silly hat.
Stephen doesn't agree with me now.
I know.
That.
I know.
No, I agree with you on a lot of things, Keith, but a lot of things that's happening now with Israel is not positive for this country. Israel is not our ally. Israel is not our ally. They haven't been for decades.
And you're not talking about you're not talking about the Israeli people. Who are you?
Not the Israeli people. The Israeli government is not on our side.
He's talking about
they have the Mossad. They have Epstein was with the Mossad. And they have all the information on all of our politicians, including Donald Trump, and they have done horrible things. So what we need to do, we need to all come together and say, we're not going to accept these politicians that have done horrible things. We're going to go against them.
Yeah, but it's too late because you voted for them. Now, let me say this.
It doesn't matter who you vote for. It doesn't matter who you vote for.
I want to get to a point.
They will put whoever they want in charge.
I can't get a word in.
It doesn't matter who you vote for.
I was trying to say, if you could stop talking for just 20 seconds.
I was
trying to say, just like Putin was making fun of Trump, and Trump was trying to get Putin to marry him, but Putin will not marry him, just like Stephen and Keith. And Keith was saying, he doesn't even agree with me anymore. And I said, yes, because he figures, why buy the cow when I can get the milk for free?
You lost me, Todd.
I know that makes as much sense as your sports analysis.
That's
your sports analysis.
That joke.
When we're talking about the Super Bowl and you bring up hockey.
That took so long to get to that joke because you all would not stop.
Good Lord.
Brother.
Todd needs a 72-hour evaluation.
Make sure you get your beard permed. Okay, have a great evening.
I'm gonna get my beard
permed.
permed.
Steven.
All right.